Beginner steps. Step 1. Basic stitch. Please search basic stitch. First learn the basic stitch, how to crochet. Step 2. Read the pattern. Which part of the doll? Which round? Repeat 6 sets of crochet, each set of pattern is 2 single crochet and 1 increase dot after each set of crochets is finished. It changes from 3 stitches in the previous circle to 4 stitches in the circle, because each group has hooked the increase. Total number of stitches in the round. Crochet pattern complete version. Note: hook a chain stitch before the beginning of each circle, hook a ship stitch at the end of each circle, and tighten this stitch. It'll make the connection look better. It is not written in the above 2 stitch patterns, but the teaching video has a detailed tutorial. Please see the tutorial. Step 3. Please scan the code to enter the product number. Follow us step by step to explore the fun of crochet. LUNUAFVY hope your crochet journey is easy and happy. If we are not good enough in any aspect, please leave a message below the tutorial. We will continue to improve. Thank you for your support and suggestions.
Now let's hook this bone and add a dog basin together.
骨头加狗盆
Hook the bone first, rehook dog basin. Now let's use a color number 2 line, which is khaki wire, to hook this V-one. First is to hook one side first. This is the first 2 laps. Then cut the wire and hide it. Then hook the other side. This piece here continues to hook down. Second first 2 laps. After these 2 hooks are done, this second piece is not broken. Then hook down. Hook these 2 pieces together on the 3rd turn. And then you hook it down. Add filler cotton when you hook it here. And hook it here. Hook here. Let's hook one side first. Other side of hook. Now we hook together. Let's hook 2 of them first. This. One of them is a broken line hiding a line. One is to keep going down the hook. This is lap 1 and lap 2. The first is to do a magic circle. The magic circle is the combination of these 2 fingers. Wrap the thread around these 2 fingers twice. Bring the circle this side. Hold the line with your hand. Bring the thread back. The crochet hook goes through the circle. Hook a coil over here. This creates a magic circle. The first loop is a chain stitch CH4 short. A chain stitch is a crochet hook wound around the thread. Bring out this coil from the crochet hook. This is a needle. And then for single crochet S, C4 short. Short the first single crochet. The crochet hook goes through the circle. Bring a coil. Now there are 2 coils on the crochet hook. A crochet hook has a coil attached to it. Finish the 2 coils on the crochet hook. This V-shaped shape is formed here. It's the single crochet stitch that I just hooked. The first stitch of each turn, we add the marker V. That's how you know which one is the first. And then we hook the second single crochet, a third single crochet, a fourth single crochet. After 4 single crochet hooks, let's tighten the coil first. The way to rewind the coil is to pull the wire. See which of these 2 circles is moving. It's the circle that's moving. We're going to pull this loop on this side of the thread. In this case, put this coil, make this circle smaller. Try to receive the middle. There's no gap here. After receiving, we have another wire here. Let's pull this thread and finish this thread. That's the end of the coil. Let's cut the threads off. At the end of every lap, we were the first stitch in the circle. This is where the button is marked. Come and hook a ship stitch SL seamed for short to finish the circle. The crochet hook crosses the first stitch of the circle. That's where the button was just marked. Hook a ship stitch. Ship stitch is a crochet hook wound around the thread. Take this coil directly out of the crochet hook. One is a stitch of ship stitch. One ship stitch on each turn. It's a stitch that doesn't count in this circle. So we're going to minimize the stitch received here. The way to shrink it is to pull it like this. We'll grab this side with this hand. Then the crochet hook pulls. In this case, the stitch of the ship stitch is very small. That completes the first lap. The second loop is to hook a chain stitch. Hook 2 groups, a single crochet and an increased stitch ink for short. Finish the circle with a ship stitch. There are 6 stitches in this circle. Now we hook the first group is a single crochet. Marking vocal. This single crochet is the first stitch on the first lap. Hook here. That's where the first lap is marked. Then hook an increased stitch. Increased stitch is 2 single crochet hooks in the same stitch. That's the end of the first groups. The second group is a single crochet, an increased stitch. That's the end of the second loop. Remove the marker vocal. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitch with the ship stitch. We need 2 hooks for this first and second lap.
需要钩2个。
This is the first one. This is the second. The first time when we hooked up here,
钩到这里的时候，
we're hooked on a ship
钩一
stitch.
个引拔针，然后
Then
放
disconnect.
线。
The second one is not necessary. Let's just hook it up here and then continue to hook down. Now let's deal with the first
先
one.
将第一个处理一下，就是
Is to
把
hide
这
the
个线
thread.
缠起来。把
Thread the
线
thread through the front.
从前面穿一针，后面
Behind.
穿一
Thread a
针，
needle.
这样
Go
子来
back
回
and forth
穿
a
几
few
下，
times like this.
然后
Then
把
cut the
线剪
thread.
断。这样
That
就
hides
缠
the
好线
line.
了。这
This
是
is
第
the
一个，
first one.
这
This
是
is the
第二个。
second.
接着
Then
我
we
们
hook down
往
for the
下
third
来
turn.
钩第3圈。第
The
3
third
圈是
circle is
先钩
first
一
hook
个
a chain
锁
stitch
针，接
and
着
then go
沿
along
着
this
这
first
第一
piece.
块，第一个
First
织物这
fabric
里
here,
钩一
hook a
圈，
loop.
每
Each
个
stitch is hooked to a
每一
single
个针脚
crochet.
钩一个短针，一共
That's
是
6
6个
single
短针。
crochet.
这一
Do
圈
not
钩
hook
完
ship
之后，
stitch after this
不要
loop.
钩引拔针，而
I'm
是
adding this
加
one.
上这一个另外一个
Another favorite,
织物，沿着
6
另外一个
single
织物
crochet hooks
也
along
钩
the other
6个
fabric.
短针。钩完
After
之后
hook，
再
The
在
first stitch in this
这
circle
一
here,
圈的第一个针脚这里钩一
hook
个
a ship
引拔
stitch to
针
finish
来
the
结
circle.
束这一圈。现在
Now
我
we
们
start along this
开
first
始
piece of
沿着
fabric.
这第一块织物钩
Hook 6 single
6个
crochet.
短针，在标记
Snap
扣
the
的位
first
置
single
钩第一
crochet
个短
at the
针，
mark button.
加上
marking
标
hook
记扣。第二
The
个短
second
针，
single crochet.
第
A
三
third
个
single
短针，
crochet.
第
A
四
fourth
个短
single
针，
crochet.
第五
A
个
fifth
短针，
single crochet.
第
The
六个短
sixth
针，
single crochet.
钩到
Hook
这里，
here.
我们
Let's add the other
来
side.
加上另外一边，沿着
Along
另
the
外一
other
边
side,
钩
hook
6
6
个
single
短针。
crochet.
我们
This
这
is
样
how
子
we
来加
join
入
in.
第一
The
个
first
短
single
针，
crochet.
第二
The
个短
second
针，
single crochet.
第
A
三个
third
短
single
针，
crochet.
第
A
四个
fourth
短
single
针，
crochet.
这是
This
刚
is
刚
where
缠
the
的
hidden
线
thread came out.
散出来了，我
We're
们把
just
它
gonna push it
压进里
inside.
面就好。这是
This
第
is
五
the
个
fifth
短
single
针了，
crochet.
引
Ship
拔
stitch,
针
we don't have to worry
我
about
们
it.
是不用管。这一
This
个
is the ship stitch
是
from the
上一
last
圈的
circle.
引拔针，我们
We
不用
don't have
管，
to worry
跳过
about. Skip the
在
next stitch
下一
here
针这
and
里
hook the
来
sixth
钩第
single
6个短
crochet.
针。怎么
How
样
to distinguish whether it
区
is a
分是
ship
不是
stitch?
引拔针？我们
We
可
can
以
use a
用
needle
针
like
这样
this.
子。看
Watch
这
this.
个，因为我们
Because
有
we have a
收紧
stitch
引拔
that
的
tightens
针
the
脚，
ship
所以
stitch.
这个引拔
So
针
the
是
ship
很
stitch is
很
very
紧的，
tight.
像其他
The
针
other
脚
stitch is very
是
loose.
很松的，很容
It's
易
easy
能
to
穿过
get
来。
through.
这个
This
引
ship
拔
stitch
针
won't fit through it.
就穿不过去。
So this one is a ship stitch. Let's skip. Next stitch here for a 6th single crochet.
来勾第6个短针，也就是
That's
这
the
一
one
圈
around
的
here.
剩下的
This is
就
the
最后
last
一个
stitch
针脚
left.
了。这
In
样
this
子，
case,
这
the
第二
6
块织
single
物上
crochet
的6
pieces
个
on
短
this
针
second
就
piece
勾
of
完了。
fabric are done.
勾完之
After the
后，
hook
我们
weave,
在第一
remove the
块织
marker
物
here
这里
on the first piece
摘
of
下标记
fabric.
扣，在
Hook
标
a
记
ship
扣的
stitch in
位置
place of the marked
勾一个
buckle.
引拔针来
To
结
finish
束
the
这一
circle,
圈。收紧
tighten the
引
stitch
拔
of the
的
ship
针脚，
stitch.
这
It
中
doesn't
间有一
matter
个
if
洞，
there's a hole
没
in the
关系。
middle.
这样
That's
子，
the end of the
第
third loop.
3圈就勾完了。第
The
4
fourth
圈
turn
是
is to
先
hook a
勾
chain
一个
stitch.
锁针，第
The
4
fourth
圈
loop
就
goes
沿
right
着
down here.
这里勾的。第
The
4 圈
fourth
是
lap
要
is to
勾
hook
4
4
组，
groups,
一
a
个
single
短针，
crochet,
一个
a
减针，
decrease stitch,
最后
finish with a
用一
ship
个引
stitch.
拔针来结束。一
There
共
are
是
8
8
stitches
针。
in all.
现在我
Now
们来
let's
勾
hook the
第一
first
组，
group.
在
Mark the
标记
location
扣
of
的
the
位置，
buckle.
也就是
That's
我
why
们
we
勾
hook
引
ship
拔的
stitch,
引拔
ship
针的
stitch
这个
this
位置，
position.
勾
Hook
第
the
一个
first
短
single
针，
crochet.
加上
Marking
标记扣，一
A
个减
decrease
针。
stitch deck for short. A
减针就
decreasing
是
stitch is a
挑
front loop
2
only with
个
2
针脚
stitches.
的前半针。这一
This
个
one is front loops
是
only.
前半针，这
The
另外
other
一
side
边
is back
是
loops
后
only.
半针。我
We
们
are
是
challenging
挑
to
这
stitch front
2
loops
个针
only.
脚的前半针来
To
勾
decrease
减
stitch,
针。勾
a
针
crochet
穿
hook
过
passes through
这
both front loops
2
only.
个前半针。勾
A
针带
crochet
一个
hook
线
has a
圈，
coil attached to it,
直接带出
bringing out these 2
这
front
2
loops
个
only.
前半针。现在
Now
钩
there are
针
2
上
coils
有
on the
2个
crochet
线
hook.
圈，钩针
Crochet hook a
勾一
coil.
个线圈，带
Bring
出
out the
钩
2
针上
coils
的
on the
2个线
crochet
圈，
hook.
这
That's
就
a
是一个
decrease
减
stitch.
针，也就
That
是
is,
把
2
2个
stitches
针
are
脚
merged
合
into
并
1
成一个
stitch.
针脚。这样
That's
第
the
一
end
组
of the
勾完
first
了，
groups.
第二组
Second group,
一
a
个
single
短针，
crochet,
一
a
个
decrease
减针。
stitch.
第二
The
组勾
second
完
groups
了，
are done.
第三
Third
组
groups,
一
a
个
single
短针，
crochet,
一
a
个
decrease
减针。
stitch.
第四组，第三
Third
组我
group,
们再
let's show
来
it to you
给大家
again.
演示一遍，因为
Because these
这
2 fabrics join here,
两个织物衔接的这里这个
this
针脚
stitch is easy to
很容易
overlook.
被大家忽视。这个
Make
针
sure
脚
you
大家
don't
一
miss
定
this
不要漏
stitch.
了。如果
If
不
you're
确
not
定的话，
sure,
大家可
we
以
can
往
go
回
back
数
and
一
count
下
the
剩下
remaining
的针
stitch.
脚对不对？现在
Now
我们
let's
再来
demonstrate
演
it
示一
again.
下第三
Third
组，
groups,
这里
here's a
这里
stitch
有一
don't
个
leak.
针脚，不要漏了。一
A
个
single
短
crochet,
针，一
a
个
decrease
减针，
stitch.
第四
Fourth
组
group,
一
a
个
single
短针，
crochet,
一
a
个减
decrease
针，
stitch. After this loop is done, remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitch of the ship stitch. The fifth turn is to hook a chain stitch. Then hook 2 groups, 2 single crochet and a decrease stitch. Finally, hook a ship stitch. There are 6 stitches in this circle. Now let's hook the first group. Hook the first single crochet in place of the marked buckle, marking V. The second single crochet, a decrease stitch. The first groups are done. Second group, 2 single crochet. A decrease stitch. Then hook a ship stitch to finish the circle. Tighten the stitch of the ship stitch. The 5th lap is complete. It's the same from lap 6 to lap 8. It starts with a chain stitch. Then hook a single crochet into each stitch. Finish each lap with a ship stitch. Each circle is 6 stitches. Now let's hook round 6. Hook the first single crochet in place of the marked buckle, marking V. The second single crochet, a third single crochet, a fourth single crochet, a fifth single crochet, the sixth single crochet. Remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle to finish the circle. Tighten the stitch of the ship stitch. That's the end of the 6th loop. Laps 7 through 8 are the same as lap 6. We'll hook it up together. The 8th circle is over. Remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle to finish the circle. Tighten the stitch of the ship stitch. After the 8th hook, let's start with the filler cotton. And then when we're done, we're going to keep going down. The 9th loop starts with a chain stitch. Then hook 2 groups, 2 single crochet and 1 increase stitch. Finally, hook a ship stitch. There are 8 stitches in all. Now let's hook the first group. Hook the first single crochet in place of the marked buckle, marking V. The second single crochet, an increase stitch. Increase stitch is 2 single crochet hooks in the same stitch. That's the end of the first groups. The second group had 2 single crochet. an increase stitch. The second groups are done. Remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle to finish the circle. Tighten the stitch of the ship stitch. The 10th turn is to hook a chain stitch. Then hook 4 groups, a single crochet and an increase stitch. Finally, hook a ship stitch. There are 12 stitches. Now let's hook the first group. Hook the first single crochet in place of the marked buckle, marking buckle. An increase stitch. Increase stitch is 2 single crochet hooks in the same stitch. The first groups are done. The second group is a single crochet, an increase stitch. The second groups are done. Third group's a single crochet and an increase stitch. The fourth group is a single crochet, an increase stitch. Remove the marking clasp after the hook. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitch of the ship stitch. Turn 11 starts with a chain stitch. Then I hooked 6 single crochet hooks. Each stitch is hooked to a single crochet. It was the first single crochet, marking V. The second single crochet, a third single crochet, a fourth single crochet, a fifth single crochet, the sixth single crochet, 6 single crochet after hook. Here's the first single crochet here. We take off the marker. The crochet hook passes through the marking buckle. Hook a ship stitch. Cut the fabric off in a big circle like this. It turns into 2 little circles. Now it's disconnected in the middle here. This is a ship stitch. It was hooked here on the first stitch in the circle. That's how it works. After the hook is done, we continue to hook down. We've got 6 single crochet hooks on this side. And then we go down. That was the 6th single crochet on this side. We hook 6 single crochet hooks down around the other side. The first single crochet. Put a marker button here. Because now this is disconnected. It's 2 little circles. So this is a single crochet. It's the first single crochet of this little circle on this side. The second single crochet, a third single crochet, A fourth single crochet, a fifth single crochet, the sixth single crochet. So the other small circle hook is finished. Remove marker buckle. Hook a strip stitch in place of the marked buckle. Tighten the stitch of the strip stitch. Take a look. Here now. This becomes two little circles. Like this. Now we're going to hook around this little circle. After you hook this little circle, we'll hook it over here. On the 12th turn, a chain stitch is hooked. Little circle around the side. Little circle on this side. A little circle around the last thing we hooked. Let's hook 6 single crochet. Finish the circle with a ship stitch. Here's the first shot. This is where we just hooked the ship stitch. Let's not miss this one here. You can count if it's 6. 123. 4, 5, 6. This one is a ship stitch. So we must not miss the hook. Hook the first single crochet here. Marking buckle. The second single crochet. A third single crochet. A fourth single crochet. A fifth single crochet. The sixth single crochet. Remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitch of the ship stitch. That's the end of the 12th round. The 13th turn starts with a chain stitch. 3 decrease stitches followed. Finally, hook a ship stitch. There are 3 stitches in this circle. Now we're going to hook the first decrease stitch. Be sure not to expose the first stitch here. Take front loops only. Use a needle to loosen it if it's too difficult. This was the first decrease stitch to add a marking buckle. Second decrease stitch. A third decrease in stitch. Remove marker buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. Finish the circle with a ship stitch. Tighten the stitch of the ship stitch. Hook a ship stitch to break the wire. Bundle wire. Hide. Here we're going to take care of this last lap. Just use a needle. The front loops here only sew around the last loop.
缝一圈，
Tighten the thread along the seam.
拉紧线。
When we're done, we'll thread it through the center.
中心的位置穿进来，
Pull the thread tight. This way, this mouth will look fatter.
就比较好看。
Tie a knot. Hide the knot in.
进来，
Cut the thread. One side is done, and then we hook the other side. Now let's hook the other side.
另外一边
Just repeat the hook from the 12th circle to the fashion circle.
12圈的钩法，
It's the last 2 laps on this side.
2圈。
First, we're gonna crochet hook through. This is it. This is a place of convergence. The first stitch here. Hook the thread in. In this case, this thread will just be hidden in there. And then we hook the 12th circle. First hook a chain stitch. Here's the first stitch that we just hooked here.
勾线的这第一个针脚这里，开始
Start to hook
来勾6
6
个
single
短针，
crochet.
就是
It's a
每一
single
个针脚
crochet
上
for
勾
every
一个短
stitch.
针。大家一
Make sure
定
you
不要
don't
漏
miss
了
that first
刚
stitch.
刚这第一针，第一
The
个
first
短针
single crochet.
加上
marking
标记
book
扣，
The second single
第二个短
crochet.
针。
Hook
勾的时候，
time,
我们
we
可以
can
把这
put
个
this
线头
thread
放
on
在
a
钩针
crochet
上，
hook.
这样
This
可以
will
把
hide
线
the thread
藏进
in.
来。第
A
三
third
个
single
短针，
crochet.
这个
This
线头
thread
我
can
们
be
藏
cut
完了
off
可以
when it
剪
is
掉。
finished.
第
A
四
fourth
个
single
短针，
crochet.
第
A
五个
fifth
短
single
针，
crochet.
第
The
六个短
sixth
针，
single crochet.
摘下
Remove
标记
marker
扣，
vuko.
在
Ship
标记
stitch
扣
where
的
the
位
buckle
置
is marked.
引拔，勾一
Hook
个
a
引
ship
拔
stitch
针
to finish
来
the
结束
circle.
这一圈。收
Tighten
紧
the
引拔
stitch of
的
the
针
ship
脚，
stitch.
这样
This is the 12th
第
lap.
12圈勾完了，
Finished hook.
接着
Next,
第13圈
13. Loop
先
first
勾一
hook a
个
chain
锁
stitch.
针，接着
3.
勾3
Decrease
个
stitches
减针，
followed.
一
Be
定
sure
不
not to
要
forget
忘记
this
这
first
第一
stitch.
个针脚这里。
If it's too tight
太
here,
紧的话，我们
let's
先用
use a
针
needle to
收一下。
loosen it.
第一
The
个
first
减针，
decrease stitch.
加上
marking
标记扣。第二个
Second
减针，
decrease stitch.
第
A
三
third
个减
decrease
针，
in stitch.
摘下
Remove
标
marker
记扣，
vuko.
在标
Mark
记
the
扣的位
location
置
of the
勾一
buckle.
个
Hook a
引
ship
拔
stitch
针
to
来结
finish the
束这一
circle.
圈。收紧
Tighten
引
the
拔的
stitch of the
针脚
ship stitch.
这
This
里
is
就
the end
结
of
束了
it.
所以我
So
们
we hook
再
a
勾一
ship
个
stitch
引
to
拔
break
针
the
断
wire.
线。
Let's do what we did on this side. Take care of this mouth.
缝
So front loops only. Tighten at the seams.
收紧
After sewing from the middle, get in. We just pulled it too tight. Come in and hide the thread.
长线
Tie a knot here. Hide the knot in. Cut the thread.
剪断
And then the V1 is finished.
就完成了。
With this dog,
狗盘。
now we hook together. The dog vowel is hooked with brown
是
thread.
用咖啡色的线来勾的。
Now let's hook the dog pot with a color number 1.
勾狗盆。
The color number 1 here is coffee.
咖啡色。首先
First,
第一
the
圈
first
是
lap is
先
start with a magic
做一个
circle.
魔术圈，在
Hook
魔
a
术
chain
圈
stitch
里面
inside the
钩
magic
一个
circle.
锁针，6个
6
短针，
single crochet.
钩完
Tighten
之
the
后
coil
收
after the
紧
hook.
线圈，收完
Winding
线圈，钩一
Hook
个
a ship
引
stitch
拔
to
针来
finish the
结束
circle.
这一圈。这一
There are
圈一
6
共是
stitches in
6
this
针。
circle.
现在
Now let's
我
get
们
started
开始
on the
来
first
钩第一
loop.
圈，先做
Start
一
with
个
the
魔术
magic
圈。
circle.
魔术
The
圈
magic
是
circle
先
starts with
将
2
2个
fingers
手指
together.
并拢，用
Wrap
线
the
绕
thread
手
around
指
your
2
finger
圈
twice.
先把线
Get
圈
the
拿过
coil
来，
here
这
first.
边手撑
Hold
起
the line
线，
with your hand.
再把
Bring back the coil.
线圈拿回来，钩
A
针
crochet hook
穿
passes
过
through a coil.
线圈，带
Bring a
一
coil.
个线圈过来，这样
This
就
creates a
形
magic
成一个
circle.
魔术圈。接着
And
我
then
们
we
来
hook a
钩
chain stitch.
一个锁针，锁
A
针
chain
是钩
stitch
针
is a
绕
crochet
线一
hook
圈，
wound around the thread.
带
Bring
出
out this
钩针
coil
上
from
的
the
这个线
crochet
圈，
hook.
这样
So this is a
这
chain
里
stitch.
就是一个锁针。每一
Every
圈
turn
我
we
们
hook
要
a
先
chain
钩一个
stitch
锁针，再
to
来
hook
钩
other
其
patterns.
他图解。接着我
Next,
们
we
来
hook
钩
6
6
single
个短
crochet.
针。短
A
针
single
是
crochet
钩
is a
针
crochet
穿
hook
过
going through a
圆
circle.
圈，带一
Bring a
个
coil.
线圈过来。现在
Now
钩
there are
针
2
上
coils
有
on the
2个
crochet
线
hook.
圈，钩
A
针
crochet hook has a
再
coil
带一个线
attached to
圈，
it.
把
Finish
钩
the 2
针上
coils
的
on the
2
crochet
个线
hook.
圈带完。这里
This V-shaped
形成
shape
了
is formed
这个
here.
V 型。这一个
This one
V
is
型
V-shaped.
就
It was
是
the first
第一
single
个
crochet
短针的
stitch.
针脚，
We
我们
add the marker.
加上标记扣。每
The
一
first
圈的
stitch of
第一个
each
针
turn.
脚，我
We're
们
all
都
going to
要
have to
加
add
上标记
markers.
扣，这样
That's
才
how you
认
know
得
it.
清楚哪一
Which
个
one is the
是
first stitch
这
in
一
the
圈的
circle?
第一针。接
And
着
then we
我
hook
们
the
钩
second
第
single
2个短针，
crochet.
第
A
3
third
个
single
短针，
crochet. a fourth single crochet, a fifth single crochet, the sixth single crochet, sixth single crochet. This is what it looks like after the hook. Each single crochet stitch is a V shape. It's such a V shape. We can count if it's 6 V-shaped. After hook, let's tighten the coil first. The method of winding is pull this thread. See which of these two wires is moving. It's the thread that's moving. We'll just pull the wire on the side near the end. In this case, get the circle as close to empty as possible. And then we pull this thread. Finish this thread. That's the end of the coil. Let's cut this thread. Every lap, we're going to finish the circle with the ship stitch. The ship stitch is the first stitch in this circle. That's where the mark is on the button. We take off the marker. Crochet hook the stitch that passes through the marked buckle. Bring a coil. This coil leads directly out of this coil on the crochet hook. This V-shaped shape is formed here. It's a ship stitch. Each turn of the ship stitch, it's a stitch that doesn't count in the circle. So here we take the stitch down. It'll make the connection look better. The way to shrink it is to pull the crochet hook in this direction. Now the stitch is very small. That completes the first lap. The second loop is to hook a chain stitch. Next, hook 6 increase stitches. Increase stitches 2 single crochet hooks in the same stitch. We just the rod marks this position of the vocal. That's the stitch of the ship stitch here. To hook the first increase stitch. This stitch, that's the first stitch on the first lap. Increase stitches 2 single crochet hooks in the same stitch. Now let's hook the first single crochet. The crochet hook went through the same stitch. Hook the second single crochet. So you hooked a single crochet in the same stitch. This is an increase stitch. This group is an increase stitch. We add a marking button here to the first stitch. That's the first stitch on the second lap. Then we hook the second increase stitch down.
加针。
The third increase stitch. The fourth increase stitch. Lesson 5 increase stitch. The sixth increase stitch. That's the end of the second loop. This one is a stitch from the ship stitch from the last circle. This stitch does not use a hook. And then we glue the marker.
扎一下标记扣，
Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked
钩
buckle
一个引拔针来
to
结
finish
束
the
这一
circle.
圈。收
Tighten
紧
the
引
stitch
拔
of the
的
ship
针脚，
stitch.
这样
That
第
completes
二
the
圈
second
就
lap.
完成了。第
The
三
third
圈
loop
是
is to hook a
先
chain
钩一个
stitch.
锁针，接
Then
着
hook
钩
6
6
groups,
组，一
a
个
single
短针，
crochet
一个
and an
加针。
increase stitch.
现在
Now
我们
let's
来
hook
钩
the
第一
first
组，
group.
在
Hook a
标记
single
扣的位
crochet
置
over the marked clasp.
钩一个短针，加上
Marking
标记
buckle
扣，往
Hook
下
an
钩一
increase
个
stitch
加
down.
针，这
So
样
you have a single
就
crochet
是
and an
一个
increase
短
stitch.
针，一个加针，这样
This
是
is the
第一
first
组。
group.
接着
And then
我
we
们
hook
来
the
钩第
second
二组
group,
一
a
个
single
短针，
crochet,
一个
an
加
increase
针，
stitch.
第二
The
组
second
钩
groups are
完了，
done.
第
The
三
third
组
group is a single crochet,
一个短针，一
an
个加
increase
针，
stitch.
第
The
三
third
组
group
钩
is
完了，
done.
接着
Then
还
there are
有
3
三组，
groups.
我
We'll
们
hook
一
it up
起把它
together.
钩完。第
The
六组
sixth
钩
group
完
is
了，
finished.
这样
That completes the
第
third lap.
三圈就完成了。摘下
Remove
标记
marker
扣，
buckle.
在
Hook
标
a
记
ship
扣的
stitch in
位
place
置
of the marked
钩一
buckle
个引拔针，来
to
结
finish
束
the
这一圈
circle.
收紧
Tighten the
引
stitch
拔
of
的
the ship
针脚。
stitch.
第
The third
三
lap
圈
is
就
done.
完成了。第
The
四圈
fourth
是
turn
先
is
钩
to
一
hook
个
a
锁
chain
针，
stitch.
接着
Then
钩
hook
6
6
组，
groups,
2
2
个
single
短
crochet
针
and 1
和
increase
1个
stitch.
加针，最后
Finish
再
the
用一个
circle
引
with the
拔
ship
针来
stitch.
结束这一圈。这一
There are
圈一共是
24 or 4
24针。
stitches in this round.
现在
Now
我们来
let's
钩
hook the
第一
first
组，
group.
在
Hook the first
标
single
记扣的位
crochet
置
in
钩
place
第
of
一
the
个
marked
短针，
buckle.
加上
Marking
标记扣
buckle.
第二
The
个短
second
针，
single crochet,
一
an
个加
increase
针，
stitch.
第一
The
组
first
钩
groups are
完了，
done.
第二组
Second group,
2
2
个
single
短针，
crochet,
一
an
个
increase
加针，
stitch.
第二
The
组
second
钩
groups
完
are
了，
done.
接
Then
着
there
还
are
有
4
4组，
groups.
我
We'll
们
hook
一
it up
起把它
together.
钩完。第四
When the
圈钩
fourth
完
loop
了，
is done, tie the
摘
marked
下
boot.
标记扣，在
Hook a
标
pin
记
into
扣
the
的
marked
位
boot
置钩一个引拔针来
to
结
finish
束
the
这一
circle.
圈。收
Tighten
紧
the
引
stitch
拔
of the
的
ship
针脚，
stitch.
这样
That completes
第
the
四
fourth
圈
lap.
就完成了。第
The
五
fifth
圈
turn
是
is to
先
hook a
钩一
chain
个
stitch.
锁针，
Then hook 6 groups, 3 single crochet and 1 increase stitch. Finish the circle with a primer. There are 30 stitches in this circle. Now let's hook the first group of 3 single crochet. This was the first single crochet with a marker buckle. The second single crochet, the third single crochet with an increased stitch. Increased stitch is 2 single crochet hooks in the same stitch. That's the end of the first group. The second group has 3 single crochet. An increased stitch. The second groups are done. Then there are 4 groups. We'll hook it up together. Six groups take off the marking clasp after the hook. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitch of the ship stitch. The 5th loop is over. The 6th loop is to hook a chain stitch. Take after. Front loops only. Take a look. A stitch is a V shape. This 1.5 needle near us, it's called front loops only. The other half stitch away from us is the back loops only. Lap 6, we're gonna... This is where the front loops only hook. Hook a single crochet into each and a half stitches here. There are 30 needles in all. Finish the loop with a ship stitch after the hook. Now we're going to hook the first single crochet. Crochet hook for it. The front loops of the first stitch from the previous loop are only. Hook the first single crochet. Marking V. The crochet hook crosses the front loops only of the second stitch. Hook the second single crochet. Take a look. After hook, there will be back loops only that are missing. And then we hook down. The whole circle is hooked like this. We'll hook it up together. This is what happens after 30 single crochet hooks. It's standing up around here. The remaining back loops here only have no hooks. When we're done, we take off the marker. Mark the location of the vukal. Hook a ship stitch to finish the circle. Tighten the stitch of the ship stitch. That's the end of the 6th loop. Laps 7 through 8 are the same. Same thing with a chain stitch. Then hook a single crochet into each stitch.
这两
These 2
圈
rounds are 30
每
stitches
一圈
each.
是30针，每一
After
圈
each
钩
turn
完
of
之
the
后
hook,
同样
also hook a
钩
ship
一个
stitch to
引拔
finish the
针来
circle.
结束这一圈。现
Now
在我
we're
们
going to
开始
hook the
来钩
7th
第7
circle.
圈，在
Hook the
标记
first
口
single
的位置
crochet in
钩
place
第
of
一
the
个
marked
短针，
buckle.
加上
Marking
标记扣。第二
The
个
second
短
single
针，
crochet,
第
a
三
third
个
single
短针，
crochet,
第
a
四
fourth
个
single
短针，
crochet,
这两
both
圈
laps
全
were
部是
single
短针，
crochet.
我
We'll
们
hook it
一
up
起把它
together.
钩完。第
The
8
8th
圈钩
circle
完
is
了，
over.
摘下
Remove
标记
marker
扣，
hook,
在
hook
标
a
记
ship
扣的
stitch in
位置
place of the
钩
marked
一个
buckle
引拔针来
to
结
finish
束
the
这一圈，
circle.
收紧
Tighten the
引
stitch
拔
of the
的
ship
针脚。
stitch.
第
The
9
9th
圈
loop
是
starts with a
先钩一
chain
个
stitch.
锁针，再挑
Pick
第
the
8
back
圈
loops
的
only on
后
the
半
8th
针来
to
钩
hook a
短
single
针，
crochet.
一共
30
是
single
30个
crochet
短
in
针。
all.
这个
This
是
is half the needle away
远
from
离我
us.
们身边的这一半针，这
The
个
front
前
loops
半针
only
不用
use a
钩。
hook.
现在我
Now
们
let's
开
get
始
to the first stitch.
来钩第1针，挑
Pick
后
back
半针，
loops only.
钩
Hook
第
the
1个
first
短
single
针，
crochet.
加上
marking
标记
vocal
扣，挑
Pick
后
back
半
loops
针，
only.
钩
Hook
短
a
针，
single crochet.
挑
Pick
后
back
半
loops
针，
only.
这里
This leaves front
留的
loops
是
only.
前半针，这
The
个前
front
半
loops
针
only
不钩
don't，hook.
钩完
After
之后
hook,
就是
the only thing left
剩
is the
下
front loops
这
only
个前
missed.
半针没有钩到的。这一
This
圈
lap is
全
all
部是
single
短针，
crochet.
我
We'll
们一
hook
起
it
把
up
它钩
together.
完。30个
Remove the
短针
markers
钩完
when
之
you're
后
done with the 30
摘下
single
标记扣
crochet.
在
Hook
标
a
记
ship
扣的
stitch in
位置
place of the
钩
marked
一个
buckle
引拔针来
to
结
finish
束
the
这一圈，
circle.
收紧
Tighten the
引
stitch
拔
of the
的
ship
针脚。
stitch.
第9
After the
圈钩
9th
完之
hook,
后，我
we
们
put
把
it
它翻过
flip
来
over
看一
and
下，
have a look.
这里
All that's left is the front loops
就
only
剩下
missing.
前半针没有钩到。钩完
This
之
is
后
what
就是
happens
这样
after
子
the
的。
hook.
接着
And
我
then
们
we
来
hook
钩
the
第
10th
10
turn.
圈。第
The
10 圈
10th turn
是
is
先
to
钩
hook
一
a
个
chain
锁针，
stitch.
接着
Then the
钩
hook 3
3组
groups 9 single
9个
crochet
短
and
针
1
和
increase
1个
stitch.
加针，最后
Finally
再
hook a
钩一
ship
个
stitch to
引
finish
拔
the
针来
circle.
结束这一圈。现在我们
Now
来
let's
钩
hook
第
the
1组
first group.
9
9
个
single
短针
crochet
和
and
1
1
个加
increase
针，
stitch.
在
Hook
标
the
记
first
扣的
single
位置
crochet
钩
in place
第
of
1
the
个
marked
短针，
buckle,
加上
marking
标记扣。第
the
2个
second
短针，
single crochet,
第
a
3
third
个
single
短针，
crochet,
第
a
4
fourth
个
single
短针，
crochet,
第
a
5个
fifth
短
single
针，
crochet,
第
the
6
sixth
个短
single
针，
crochet,
第
seventh
7
single
个短针，
crochet, eighth single
第8个
crochet,
短针，
ninth single crochet,
第9个短针。
and increase stitch. Increase stitch is 2 single crochet hooks in the same stitch. That's the end of the first group on the first lap. The second group is 9 single crochet. And increase stitch. The second groups are done. Then there are the groups. We'll hook it up together. After the third group has hooked, remove the marker. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle to finish the circle. Tighten the lymphatic stitch. Turn 11 starts with a chain stitch. Hook a single crochet onto each stitch. There are 33 needles in all. After hook, hook a ship stitch to finish the circle. Hook the first single crochet in place of the marked buckle. Marking hook. The second single crochet, a third single crochet, a fourth single crochet. This lap is all single crochet. We'll hook it up together. 30 or 3 single crochet hooks and remove the marker. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle to finish the circle. Tighten the stitch of the ship stitch. On the 12th turn, a chain stitch is hooked. Hook 3 groups, 10 single crochet, and 1 increase stitch. Finally, hook a ship stitch to finish the circle. Now let's hook the first group first. 10 single crochet. And increase stitch. Increase stitches, 2 single crochet hooks in the same stitch. That's the end of the first groups. Then there are 2 groups. We'll hook it up together. After the third group has hooked, remove the marker. Mark the location of the buckle. Hook a ship stitch to finish the circle. Tighten the stitch of the ship stitch. Because this is the last lap, now we're going to disconnect. So here we hook a ship stitch. Disconnection. We don't need a long line here because we don't need stitches. After we cut the wire, let's hide the thread. Put a stitch into the front stitch.
这个针脚缝一针，往后
rearward
面这里
a stitch here,
缝一针，这
go
样来
VK
回
and
缝
forth a
几
few
针，
stitches,
然后
and then
也
you
可
can
以
put
往
some
前
stitches in the front.
缝几针。缝完
When
之
we're
后，我
done,
们
we'll
把
end the thread,
线头剪
cut
掉，
off.
这样
In
子。
this case,
接着
and
我
then we
们把
flip this
这里
over.
翻过来，这样
So
这
the
个
dog
狗
vow is
盆就
complete.
完成了。这是
This
底
is the
部，
bottom.